All right, party people. I know why you're here and you know why I'm here. We are here today to talk about some pops I really wish that Funko would make. And if Funko, if you're watching, jot these down, okay? I'm gonna kind of lightweight mention them on my TikTok first, because I can't really go into depth about them or name all of them that I wanted to name. But first off, let's start with I think my number one Funko Pop line that I wish that they would make, and that is That 70s Show. Now, That 70s Show is one of my favorite shows to watch, and then Netflix oh so rudely took it off of Netflix for some odd reason, and I'm very bitter about it. I mean, I probably watched that show a million times over. Like, I've memorized a lot of the lines, and I like to put shows on. I like to have background noise when I go to sleep. And I've seen that show so many times I can like watch it in my head while I'm falling asleep. So it's really nice for me. And so personally, that's one of my absolute favorites that I wish that they would make into Funko Pops. And also because they have Friends Funko Pops, which is, I guess, the rival of That 70s Show. So it's kind of interesting that they have Friends Pops, but they don't have That 70s Show. I think those would make for some really good Funko Pops. I don't know about you, but for me, I think that would be fan-freaking-tastic. All right, next up, we're gonna kind of go with a throwback, because here we like to talk about Disney-related Funko Pops, mostly. But today I'm gonna kind of go off a little bit into some ones that I personally would get that aren't Disney-related. But this next one is Disney-related. I would love to see Atlantis Funko Pops. Man, that was the movie growing up. There's some really cool things that they could make with those. I mean, you got endless possibilities with Atlantis. Like, I mean, you have the glowing crystal. Like, you could make a glowing exclusive with that, with the crystal. Like, you have all of those really cool vehicles and stuff. You can make the submarine. That would be really cool. There's so many beautiful pops that could come out of this. I wish they would just make it. All right, here's another one that isn't Disney related, but I would completely enjoy, and I know a lot of people would, and I know there's like some copyright issue or whatever, and they can't exactly make these Funko Pops because the creator said that he doesn't want them into Funko Pops for some odd reason. But I would love to see 7 Deadly Sins Funko Pops. And I know a lot of you would like to see 7 Deadly Sins Funko Pops. Because you could have all of the sins, you could have all of the commandments, you could have them in their like gear, out of their gear. There's so many like different clothing options. And you could have, it's just, there's so many great possibilities with that line that I think that they could do, and Funko is missing out on those, sadly. All right, here's another one that isn't Disney related. Spirited Away. Those would make great Funko Pops. Now, me personally, I grew up on all those movies, like Kiki's Delivery Service, Spirited Away, all that kind of stuff. And I would love to see a line of those Funko Pops. Also, really solid, great characters with those. that, I mean, in my head, I can see some really cool Funko Pops. Speaking of Kiki's delivery service, I mean, you could have Kiki, and you can have the cat on her shoulder. You could have her on her broomstick, and I think it would just look really cool. And speaking of Spirited Away, there's a lot of really interesting looking characters in there that could make for some really cool Funko Pops as well. So yeah, that's where I also think Funko is missing out on too. And again, if you're listening to this, listen to it, okay? All right, we're gonna kind of get back into Disney mode. Now, one of my favorite movies growing up, Quest for Camelot. It's one of those old forgotten movies because, I don't know, Disney, I mean, I think the main reason why is because a lot of people don't actually own the movie, or they did, like I did when I was younger, and they owned it as a VHS. For those of you who don't know what a VHS is, it's what we used to watch before DVDs. Anyways, Quest for Camelot. Yeah, and a lot of people don't. I don't think a lot of people own the movie, and it's not on like Disney Plus or Netflix or anything. It was for a little bit, but for some reason it's like gone now, which is weird because a few days ago I wanted to watch Quest for Camelot and it wasn't on like anything, and you had to actually like buy the movie off of like Amazon. Stupid. They should have it on Disney Plus. Okay, back to the Pops. I also think that those could make for some really awesome Pops too. I mean, the twin-headed dragon, I think that would be a hilarious Pop to have. There's just so many great characters that came from that could make for some really good Funko Pops. All right. And lastly, another old forgotten one that we used to watch back when I was your age. Osmosis Jones. Is it just me on this? Like, I feel like those could be some really good Funko Pops too, and I think a lot of people would enjoy them as well. So I don't know what you're doing, Funko, because I feel like Funko a lot of the times, I mean, there's licensing and all that kind of stuff that they have to go through, but I think they kind of stick around some main sets and they don't really venture off into other types of Funko Pops like the ones that I've been talking about. Because I think a lot of people would enjoy those Funko Pops, especially for nostalgia purposes, and we all know how nostalgia sells really well. So if all of those were Funko Pops, I would be just so happy. And there's a lot of like exclusives that you can make with those that would look so cool in different variants, and just wish they would make those, you know what I mean. Anyways, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I love you. Don't forget to subscribe, like everything, watch all my videos all the way to the end, all the way, okay?